and welcome back to Legioncraft. Season 2, Episode 3. Just getting back to mining. I don't know how much of this stuff is going to be off cam, but I do want to get a bunch of, at least the early parts on cam. Especially since I'm not sure how long it's going to be till I'm able to properly record a lot of this stuff. I hear lava. Am I able to run into it yet? I am trying to run into lava, that way I can guarantee it. But it's taken a while. I'm actually out of torches, and I probably need to go remedy that. Now, lithium's used for, I think that's just fusion. Or at least a isotope of lithium is used with boron. Which, funny enough, I don't have, so hooray. Actually, a couple things I'm going to be using the thorium for is collecting fusion material. Even though I'm not going to be able to use it right away, I can actually start gathering it. So, I guess it's important to have it. And man, my hunger is probably going to kill me. Oh, speaking of killing you. What's my difficulty? Yep. I already had the idea of going into hard mode, but I apparently forgot. I need to go gather stuff, though. One of the ideas is to just take a bunch of stone. If I die, oh well. At least most of my resources will be saved. Dirt. Dirt is not very valuable. Tin, on the other hand, see, it just upsets me that there's an extra ore variant. I try my hardest not to leave extra ore variants because, for obvious reasons, I like stacking large, and I mean large amounts of materials in one spot. Now, another thing I've been actually working on is Terraformcraft. I've been looking into a bunch of this stuff. I was actually doing a few small projects, and I came across a relatively nice... that's apatite, but that's not the actual apatite I usually use. It's just like a gem version of the apatite. What is it? I lost my train of thought for some reason. Oh yeah, Terraformcraft. I had run across a mod, I think it was called Custom Stuff 3. And I might be using that at some point in a later playthrough to make use of a lot of resources, because it allows you to create custom crafting recipes, custom items in-game. And honestly, I might just start modding, I don't know. Unfortunately, Java's not really my expertise of coding, though I do know some of it. It's not really my focus. I'm pretty much Lua dependent. I know some C++. I'm not that big of a coder, honestly, but I do know the vengeance of, what is it? The hunger is getting to me. I shall be eradicated soon enough. I have failed in my first mission. This is not a hardcore mode, which I actually might play at one point, a hardcore gaming mode. I'm not sure yet. I probably should have memorized where my house was. Especially since I won't be able to get back to it after I do this. Though I do know relatively where my area is. Because I'm pretty sure it's just across over here and around. Because this is my mountain, I believe. And don't worry. Oh. There we go. Food. Too late. What happens, what those are is replicators. They come from Electrical Age. They are a silverfish-like creature. Yep, there's my death point. I know relatively where I'm at. I need to go over here, and my mountain should be, after the freeze, in that direction. I think it's actually right here. I don't think it's rendered in properly, though. But yeah, the silverfish actually has the, or that silverfish specifically, has the fun side of being a very useful producer of many different types of materials. Luckily, I'm pretty sure I killed him. Lord Archadeas is here. Did I get an apple? No. Oh, I can spawn a replicator. Now, what happens with these replicators is that if you kill them, I think they have a chance of dropping the spawn egg. What happens with the spawn egg is you spawn it against a certain material, like a diamond ore or something, and it takes on the properties of whatever it's spawned on. So I think it can only be used once, at which point I don't think it actually produces any more spawn eggs. And I'm actually going to go test this by finding a very valuable resource, and funny enough, iron is one of those valuable resources. Now, I'm going to spawn this and I'm going to kill it. That's basically what I'm going to do. I just want to test this. I've never actually tried this. I just have an assumption that it might work with that. Nope, doesn't work like that. Oh well. No egg for me, it doesn't matter. But that's either gold dust or glowstone dust, which actually either way works for me. Now, I don't have any torches. This area seems to be a little bit more expansive. I think it's just caved in from gravel. I could use some of that ore, but right now I just need copper and stuff like that. I'll mess around with those when I come across them. I noticed that they spawn a lot, but I usually spawn them on like not useful materials, usually like stone, and I don't usually pay attention to them. I then promptly kill them. I did get wood. Plenty of wood. Make more chest. Please. Too lazy to go anywhere else to get more. I actually spawned in a rather terrible spot. I usually go for, like, finding the best world I can, and honestly, it didn't work this time because I just didn't feel like searching through 100 of them. And this isn't too bad, but it's also not terribly good. So, by the way, I also have a fun little mod that uses carbon materials. I just suddenly had a bunch of ideas. Yay, copper. Pretty sure it's ore dictionary, so I don't have to worry about that. And if it's not, well, I shall be angry. Much angry. Because I need it. Yep, it's ore dictionary. First thing I'm gonna do, I think it's actually this way. Okay, this is a grounding cable. This is your lifeline for everything that is electrical. Don't go without one of these. I actually want to grab two because I'm going to need two. Because of how I'm going to set something up. Next, you actually do need wood. and I unfortunately don't have any here. I'm going to need a lot of resources. This is kind of temporary right now. I just need to get enough materials to be able to move. And to move, I basically actually probably shouldn't be carrying this stuff. Now, well, most of this stuff is rather safe for me to be carrying because copper, again, isn't that valuable. I just don't want to be wasting resources this early on, especially since I need almost everything. There are a handful of items I need right now. And one of them is actually an emerald. Most of these resources, however, I don't actually need, and therefore I am not really bothering with them. Okay, 12. This is where my area starts. Actually need to start mining on it properly. I was going down there because I had found a good resource. I didn't make any torches, did I? Well, if I can find the lava, then I'm fine. Kind of probing for lava. Lava? Lava. By the way, if you feel like you're... Oop. Okay, well, that's one of the items down. You know, it's funny enough, but episode 3 tends to be when I get diamonds. Not saying it's a conspiracy, but, yeah. I seem to almost always get, on episode 3, diamonds. Indium, not really useful. I'm not even going to bother with it. Indium, funny enough, is, I think, a non-toxic metal that you can actually eat. Granted, it's a metal. You probably shouldn't be eating a large amount of metal anyway. But from what I know, it shouldn't be toxic. Cadmium, on the other hand, is equivalent to mercury. Don't eat it. It's another mod, or another metal added by Reactorcraft. But yeah, cadmium, bad stuff. Don't eat. In fact, I'm pretty sure cadmium's worse than mercury. And it will give you heavy metal poisoning. Now granted, people are afraid that mercury will just outright kill them if they touch it. Not really the case. You can touch it. It's preferable that you don't, because it can go in through your skin, it can cause damage. But overall, it's not just going to outright kill you. And people also think that of nuclear material. Radioactive materials, well, yes, obviously dangerous. Don't touch, or at least try to avoid handling with your bare hands and no protection. Radioactive material isn't as fatal as a lot of people think it is. It can kill you from a mile away. No, it really usually cannot. Unless you are literally... Oh, another common misconception. People think that nuclear material is just like a nuke dropped by someone. It can just destroy everyone. No, in all honesty, that's just a really powerful burst of energy. And I kind of feel like people don't understand that. And it's kind of hard to explain, honestly, because honestly, I'm not a nuclear physicist or anything like that, but I did study a lot of nuclear material at one point because I was bored and I wanted to learn about it. It was part of the chemistry thing, honestly, but yeah, for the most part, nuclear material won't usually outright kill you, and people think that, say, yellow cake uranium, yes, it's radioactive, people think it's going to outright kill you if you touch it. Well, no, because it's basically dug up from the soil, 1. 2, almost 99% of it is depleted uranium, meaning it does not carry enough radioactive charge to actually irradiate you to a significant level. In fact, some of it's almost as non-radioactive as just being out in the sun or even just normal background radiation. Because what people also don't know is radiation is basically all around you at any given time. Anything that is energy is radiation. Currently, you are being irradiated by your computer by simply looking at the screen. Heat, light, and pretty much everything else is a form of radiation. And that's something that people also don't usually understand. I guess it's understandable, but I think my mouse sensitivity may have gone up. I don't know. Got more sticks. Yay! More torches for me. More light for you. But yeah, getting back to nuclear material and how not completely hazardous it is. It is hazardous, honestly. You should probably avoid handling most nuclear materials. But in the worst case, most of it is not really deadly unless ingested. Basically, you have to eat it. And funny enough, most radioactive materials would probably kill you of heavy metal poisoning, like lead, than actually expose you to a lethal amount of radiation. Now there are certain I think it's palladium or something. In fact, I can actually show you what element. During an assassination of a no, it wasn't that. It was nope. Let's find it. Basically, it was put into a solution and then he drank it, and it is poisonous, but also it's a really radioactive substance, and I'm pretty sure that's mostly how he died. I can't remember what it's called for some reason. My mind's drawing a blank, but I'm pretty sure it starts with a P, and I don't think it's not promethium. Though promethium is highly radioactive, if I remember correctly. Yada yada yada. Nobium, nope. I just can't remember it. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but yeah, a lot of radioactive materials aren't actually too fatal. In fact, actually, I can look at this. Stable. See, these are the lanthanide groups. A lot of them are radioactive. Promethium, radioactive. Most of the stuff isn't as radioactive as a lot of the stuff. Now this stuff, the actinide group, tends to be hardly radioactive. Thorium and plutonium, funny enough, are both not very radioactive. Uranium is actually more radioactive, if I remember correctly, than plutonium, or at least it emits more piercing radiation. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure most of the higher radioactive materials are further down. And there's actually another group past the I think they're the actinide groups. There's another one. It's just they're not naturally occurring. In fact, most radioactive materials that we have discovered recently aren't actually naturally occurring. Or if they're naturally occurring, they don't occur on Earth. Now it's very likely that they do occur in stars and are then promptly lost, because a lot of this stuff actually has a half-life of milliseconds. It's the further you get down on the elements, it starts getting really quick on how quick they actually go through their half-life. Half-life is basically the time period in which half of the material present decomposes and breaks down into another element. And funny enough, I'm pretty sure bismuth is radioactive. In fact, it is. I know that for a fact. Though it's so lightly radioactive, its half-life is, I think, 40 times the entire, I guess, age of the universe. Which means that it's not, for all purposes, it is stable. It's just, it's very, 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 very lightly radioactive. For all purposes, it's stable, though. And people actually consume it as medicine because it's not really toxic to the body. So I'm guessing if you overdose on anything, it can still harm you. But yeah, I'm actually out of time for some reason. This went by a lot quicker than I was expecting. But yeah, until next time, if you like what you're watching, subscribe. If not, well, have a nice day. See you on the next episode. I have to think about what I'm going to do next because I actually want to start processing things. And I also need to find a place to start living because this is not going to work for this one area. So, see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. And remember, all shall subscribe to the one true king.